Spicy meatball there.
Speaking of spicy meatballs, we're back for volume 49. Wayno boy,
Hi.
not Wayno boys. God damn it, we're the other boys, the catch-up boys.
Road Poneglyph.
Road Poneglyph catch-up crew.
Don't give it
Man,
up, Bradley edition.
y'all, the cover for volume 49. Whenever Willer hands me, whenever Willer hands me like volumes, I always get to just like get a raw reaction to it.
It's real fun.
And this one was fucking wild because like volume 48, it's Luffy and it's oars. I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're big, they're gonna fight, whatever. And then I look at this and I was like, oh, this is different.
The best part is Luffy didn't even fight Oars that volume, and this is like completely.
This is like on this cover of this volume, we see what I refer to as Gear Chungo Luffy. And then we see like a mech suit of Straw Hats.
Oh man!
And then two people at the top who I didn't even meet until this volume, and I'm like, oh god, we're about to meet some important ass people,
like,
aren't we?
Spoilery aside, like, is this one of the best volumes at catching your eye so far? It might just be. It's up there with that 45 one with like Garp and shit.
I think the only volume that had a more what the fuck cover was the one that had like Blackbeard and Ace on it.
Yeah, I think that was 45. That's a good cover. So we're in chapter 471. This probably looked really nice in color. We don't get to see that. I do want to mention we're supposed to be going to Fishman Island soon, so it's no coincidence that Oda is practicing his underwater drawings.
Oh yes.
But
good man, that Oda. Good man.
He's all right.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oda's like traumatized from Usopp's fight, y'all.
Yeah, she'll never be the same. We're still doing. Wait, Absalom's still out here doing dumb shit, but then Lola shows up and Nami just finishes off Absalom. It's all these hijinks.
Yeah, I'm really glad Nami got to finish off Absalom because
she deserved it.
He was really rapey to her.
Yeah.
Though I mean, it would have been cooler if it was like a real, but like it's Absalom just collapsing because he had so much damage.
Yeah.
And Nami's like, whatever, I win. You do you, boo. It's your wedding day. You should have.
Like, we see the Straw Hats gearing up to take on Oars, and it just looks sick.
This panel's fucking nuts. This panel's crazy. I love this imagery, dude. You got the pillars. You got Zoro putting on his bandana. You know it's serious.
You know it's serious.
So, okay, what can we glean from this one? They came down in an arc.
They all left, and they left the Spaceys up there.
They all left. There's none left.
Yeah. Okay, all three of them are gone, because there was three in the previous one.
We see the ocean in the bottom right.
Yeah, with the Sea Kings and a giant crab.
Yeah. So what's interesting here is that there's 3 tribes.
Yeah.
Now we know there's other Sky Islands because Eneru is from another Sky Island. I wonder how many Sky Islands there might be. You know. But yeah, that's interesting. What you can glean from here is that multiple tribes, even beyond the ones we've dealt with, left the moon. Which I can't believe these are sentences we're saying in our pirate manga at this point, but it is what it is.
This is also an important question corner, because this is where other readers Joe, and they were like, hey, wait a minute, Robin's calling people by their names now.
Yeah.
And Oda's like, yeah, I'm really glad you guys noticed. He's like, you know, he says, even if the stories that occur in One Piece get bigger, I want to continue to draw out these really minor yet crucial human relationships. So I'm like, you know what, Oda? You're doing a good fucking job.
Never lose your way, kid. You're doing great. Yeah. They mentioned here that this is the Moon City Bilka. Eneru is a Bilkin. That was mentioned.
Yes.
So yeah, that's straight up the people that founded his Sky Island was definitely at least involved in this.
What's a Bilka?
Bilka is the city, and he's a Bilkin. So and he's from another Sky Island called Bilka, I guess. So they must have made a new Bilka. He doesn't seem to care particularly about his origin here, but I care because this is lore.
Yeah.
God.
I have some theories when we get to the very end. Like, I'll probably throw it in next volume, but let's get to the chapter. which, man, this is some good motherfucking art.
Oh,
This is some mad shading.
I love how their attempt to do the like Megazord Straw Hat Gundam thing, it falls apart just because Robin's like, no, I'm not doing that.
There's so much in these 2 pages worth mentioning. First of all, Gum Gum Butt Stomp. They're like, Luffy doesn't even do that one.
Yeah, that's not even one of Luffy's moves. You just made that shit up.
But then I love how Frankie's like, guys, we're doing Tactics 15. What? That one? It's like, they've practiced this. They've talked about it.
Yeah, it's like they actually thought about stuff. It's cool.
And Zoro and Sanji aren't fully against it either. But
yeah,
Robin will not do it.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm not.
No.
This is the moment where Robin is clearly the worst Straw Hat. We could have had something great. We could. Sorry, Joe, but we could have had something amazing.
I refuse.
And even Oars is pissed. It's like, what the fuck, you guys, do it.
Dude, and also this chapter we get to see even more cool stuff from Robin, where she makes like a giant fucking rope out of arms.
Yeah.
Because like, here's the thing: I've always been sitting here like, if she did a long rope of just like one wide arms, I'm like, oh, that's not going to be enough to restrain oars. And she's like, oh, well, I'll just do a whole bunch of arms together, so it's really strong.
Robin's really leveling up her skill set as of late with the wings and like the stacking of arms.
Frankie also does his thing where he's just like building stairs.
Oh, the Fortnite attack.
Yeah.
Frankie invented Fortnite. I just want to bring up all these amazing like team up attacks. So
Frankie invented Fortnite.
He really did. You got Sanji kicking the rock at Oars, but then you got Frankie X Zoro, which is the pillar swords. You got Usopp in the mix to make Oars slip. You got Robin doing the arm thing. It's just like this extended, like every single Straw Hat was part of this one attack. Because you got Frankie and Chopper doing the finishing blow on the chin, which Chopper is the one who finds weaknesses because his brain point helps him do that. So like, it's just everyone flowed so well together here.
Even then, that's just the beginning. Like the team attacks that are coming up are some of the sickest shit I've seen in One Piece.
Dummy thick. Yeah. I like how they're like one down, but like this is just the beginning of the fight.
And like, if this fight wasn't enough,
dude.
We see this motherfucker, which we've seen him before. I was able to recognize him because of his big ass Bible.
Yeah, he's a good Christian boy.
He was at he was at like the world government headquarters, right?
Yeah, it's when we met Doflamingo, him, and also Lafitte from Blackbeard's crew showed up around that time.
Yeah, he was there
as well.
We met Sengoku then.
Were there.
Yeah.
The 5 elders.
Oh,
so I saw him and I was like, what the fuck? Like, we're just bringing out all the warlords of the sea now, boy.
This is such a fun way to, like, build up the One Piece world building. This has been such a isolated arc. It's just like a Skypiea-style adventure in one arc. But here's the world, like, because it has to do with warlords, another warlord can just show up in the middle because it's part of business. He can't let Moria fall. And the government won't let that slide. So here we just have a second warlord added onto the situation.
Man, it's just so cool that he can show up to Moria's island and be like, "Is Moria here?" And I'm like, "You better fucking answer him."
Yeah. We're going to get to see some more stuff with Kuma, but I love Kuma. And this is what I'm talking about, the raising of tension. So the Straw Hats lose their shadows. Now they're going on 1v1s. Now they're fighting Oars and it's taking the entire crew to land one good hit. Now Kuma is showing up. Now Oars is being piloted like a mecha. Now the sun is rising. This shit gets ridiculous. Yeah. Also, Khalifa is a giraffe.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
I could do without.
let's not worry about that. Move along.
I love the slippery Kaku.
Yeah.
That sounded funny.
That did sound funny. So, I can't believe how big Eneru won. Like, One Piece's whole thing is that Luffy crushes the dreams of his opponents instead of killing them. Not Eneru.
Everything Eneru ever wanted.
This dream. turn around and see the loyal servants and the endless Vars. It's like when Thanos is just farming in Endgame. He's like, life is good.
Yeah, he's like, this is my shit right
Oh
here.
my god.
What's even crazier is like at the end of the Skypiea arc, and you see him flying off into the moon. You're just like, this guy's fucking crazy. Good thing he's gone. And then he gets there, and he was right. And you're just like, what?
And he's awarded for it.
He was flying off to the moon, and I was like, okay, he's crazy. He's going to float up there, and he's going to die alone because he can't breathe. And then he gets up there, and he was totally right.
The fact he gets rewarded with an army is the real icing on the cake. Like, fuck everything you knew about what a villain deserves.
Yeah.
So here's the two characters Nami did beat this arc. The little chipmunks. Good job, Nami. You pulled your weight. This all-out attack.
Yeah.
Oars get stuck, his horn's stuck, and the Straw Hats just get sadistic.
Dude, I like Sanji's face the best, where he's just taking a big pull.
Sucks for you. I love Usopp here. I think he's really
Gleam.
What a little shit.
Frankie too. He's like, you
and
suck,
then they just start beating the shit out of Oars on the ground. Like, they're just bullying this guy. Oars pops up and like, nope, all right, we out.
Yeah, and then their faces as they're running away, they're like, yeah.
So fucking good, so funny. They're wearing him down, but like Zoro's testing out his new sword. We're gonna see how that works out.
This sword is powerful enough to knock aside Oars's punches.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Huh. Zoro does call it a black blade. I guess I'm wrong. This is one of the, 10 best swords in the world, then.
Yeah, I think he said it's one of the... I don't know. Did he say it's one of the supreme grade swords or excellent grade swords?
See, because Supreme is the second to highest tier, if I recall correctly. But here he's calling it a black blade.
I think a black blade has a certain characteristic to it that hasn't been introduced yet.
No, but that aside, we got the breakdown that there are 10 black blades. So I'm confused here if it's black or supreme. We'll just Google it later.
I think it's
whatever.
In the previous arc, he said what grade it was. Or not in the previous arc. In the previous volume, he said Ryuma said what grade it was.
Yeah, and I could have sworn it was supreme, but we'll just look it up later. It's fine.
I don't know, some shit like that.
It's a good sword.
Yeah.
Zoro likes the sword.
It's a good fucking sword.
Hey Bradley, if you had to go on a vacation, where would you go?
Dude, I don't know what the fuck Kuma does yet, but it's creepy, right?
Yeah,
Dude,
man.
She's just gone. She gone.
Kuma. And so, his shirt is like the world government symbol, right?
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he's the ultimate bootlicker.
It's not. It's not. The world government symbol is like a. It's like a circle with 4 lines and then four circles at the end of each line.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so his is just a circle with 4 lines.
I guess so. Yeah.
I thought it was the world government symbol, man.
It's close.
You're not wrong though. The vibe that we're getting is that he is the government tool. Like this is the Shichibukai who will do his job.
Yeah.
Wonder what's up with him. So he recognizes Nami. That's not good.
Man, the fact that he just first he makes Perona fucking disappear, which I still don't know if we know where she went. Maybe she went where she wanted to go.
Maybe she did, or maybe she just got fucking the hand, Okuyasu erased.
So we don't know if he teleported here or if he just moved really fucking fast. I got the vibe he teleported.
It feels like teleporting by the reactions that they're giving.
It's some creepy ass shit, whatever it is.
If he is teleporting, then maybe he teleported Perona. You know.
Maybe so.
So maybe she's out there.
Rapture people because he has a Bible.
Okay, so we should get the end of this cover story here.
Before we go there, the one big thing about this chapter that stuck out to me was Kuma asking about Ace. Basically, is it true that Monkey D. Luffy has an older brother?
Right.
What's up with that? Why do you think he's asking that, Bradley? It feels kind of random to throw in, but
I feel like. Is it not known that Straw Hat Luffy and Ace are related? Is that not a known quantity?
Not.
By the fact that he has to ask, even though he has government knowledge,
I guess so.
it would not. Plus, they don't have who is Luffy to the world before he started his journey. You know,
I'm assuming Garp knows, right?
Garp might know,
Yeah.
but he's not gonna share it necessarily. You know, like it's not gonna show up in the papers. I don't think.
I don't know. I thought people knew, but I guess
also
this shows
remember,
that they don't.
Bradley, that they hid Garp's child, like Dragon, from people. Like people didn't know Dragon was related to Garp and
That's
vice
true.
versa.
Yeah, the Navy, the Marine people were surprised.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it.
My takeaway here, so where we last saw Ace is that Blackbeard was fighting Ace, and we saw the big clash. Now the fact that there's been a lot of Ace lately, and here's more Ace, but Kuma's asking about it. So I would have some theories at this point of like Ace might have lost that clash, and now there might be some plot threads relating to Ace coming up.
Joe, did you send me a Arby's ad?
I did.
Why?
Because it had Yugi on it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, it has Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh on it, but I was just like, why?
Here's one I want to draw attention to for later. We just get some reaffirmation of like Shanks and Boogie and the guy that was in their crew that was beating them up. People asking about old shit right now, but it might come up soon. Moving on to 474.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, and that is the final volume of the Air Covers. Full
Okay.
power, the Anaru army stands tall, and he finally is smiling. He's like, fuck yeah.
Shoot first, ask questions later. It just works out. Andrew is such a good role model. Try to blow up an island, get rewarded with your dreams, dog. So,
Yeah.
my theory... I don't know if I want to go on my theory. Like, my theory of the moon isn't reinforced by anything in the future, so maybe I can go into it now, because, like, it's just... This is the information I got to work with when it comes to this theory. So, I think the moon is Uranus, or there's Uranus in the moon, which is one of the 3 weapons. And the reason why I think is, like, they have this entire ancient civilization that is clearly advanced, because they're using electricity and automaton, which is ahead of its time for the One Piece world. And it would make sense that, like, Uranus is the god of thunder. I think that's where this theory comes from, because it's a fairly popular theory. So then you have, like, is it Pluton on the ground, and then maybe Uranus is, like, a sky weapon of some sort. And they seem to be, like, those Skypeans and those Bilkins seem to be some sort of arc before they left with the little robots. Maybe that's the Uranus, or maybe the entire moon itself is the Uranus. All I know is I really buy into this theory because there is no way Oda is not going to revisit Anaru in the future. You know, like, he's not going to do this crazy arc on the moon to not have Anaru make a return. That's just how I feel. And it'd be cool if he's returning with a very plot-relevant ancient weapon of some sort. That'd be a really cool way to tie him back in. But
Wait, so, what's this ancient weapon you were talking about?
Uranus.
It's only been mentioned once, I think.
Okay, because the whole time you were saying that, I was like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, it's been mentioned in passing.
Okay. It's like a sky version of the Pluton, or?
Well,
we don't know.
I have no idea. Like, this everything I just said was pure theory.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't need to listen to it very much, but I'll just bring it up here. So, Doppelman lures Luffy into the woods, and the fight continues. Zoro's able to deflect the punches and, like, make these giant slashes with his new sword. So definitely with Zoro, what Joe was saying.
And I like that, like, not only does he deflect those aside, it also shows that, like, even with this new sword, he has room to grow, because he's like, oh, fuck, like, this sword is going to take getting used to.
Yeah, it's similar to what, like, Whiskey Peak is the arc right after he got the curse sword, and there was a similar sentiment, so it feels like a repeat of that. What else is popping this chapter? You got the meeting with Kuma and Oars, which is very interesting. They have a weird working relationship. They know each other. They know what they're about.
Bodies are opposites.
They really are. One of them skipped leg day. One of them skipped all days.
So during this conversation, there's that middle panel on the left where Moya already knows this trick that Kuma does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting.
Kuma tries to ask him, he's like, like, shut up.
It's like, be quiet.
So yeah, the world government is concerned that a second warlord will be taken out by the Straw Hat Pirates, and Kuma is here to stop that from happening.
And man, the world government let a relative unknown like succeed to the rank of a warlord.
Well, there's only one way I think he could have done that, given like what we last saw Blackbeard doing. So Blackbeard's making moves in this world. Like he's very quickly going from this background character to like this guy who is in a very fast rise alongside Luffy, who's also in a fast rise. I think that's really building their foil relationship.
So we saw Blackbeard and Ace fight. Did we see the conclusion to their fight?
We did. So the last panel we see is their like big spirit bombs clashing.
Yeah. So
Ace's hat like on the ground with those
that makes
text
me
boxes.
concerned. Like, you know, did he bring Ace in?
That when I read this, that's what I had in mind.
Because like I'm imagining like he takes Ace in, turns in like a very powerful member of the
Whitebeard Pirates.
Of the Whitebeard Pirates, and then it's like, oh fuck. Well, I mean, if you took him in, shit, yeah, you can be the.
All right, let's go back the Blackbeard storyline real quick, because it's hard to keep track of these because there's just so many chapters in One Piece. But there's the story thread that's been building. So when Blackbeard finds out that Luffy has 100 million berry bounty, that's when he decides to go capture Luffy. That's when he rides out, and then he gets knocked away by the knock-up stream.
That's right. It's like he wants to make a name for himself, you know?
And Lafitte also said, keep your eye out for this guy named Blackbeard, because I promise you're going to care about him very soon. So, okay, Blackbeard failed to capture and defeat Luffy, but it seems like he might have been able to find a very nice secondary strategy of becoming a warlord, which would be beating Ace.
And man, like, so if I'm operating on this assumption where Blackbeard, you know, in theory, defeats Ace, brings Ace in, succeeds to become a warlord, and then we have another warlord coming here asking, hey, does Luffy have a brother? I'm like, that's just making me worried for Ace, man.
Yeah, I brought that up because it feels like there's a lot of Ace stuff going on.
I know, I'm scared, man.
But hey, all that means is you might get more Ace soon, and you love Ace.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm always down for more Ace.
Yeah, definitely.
But then I'm also scared because I remember in our like last set of talks, I remember we were talking about how much, you know, it's basically Ace's dream to help Whitebeard become king of the pirates.
Yeah.
And at this point in One Piece, we've introduced so many characters and established their dreams, but now not all these dreams are compatible.
Yeah.
And so I'm scared like either Luffy and Ace are going to have to fight, or Ace is going to he's going to have to be taken out of the equation by somebody else. And I'm like, man, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's been really interesting because every time, how many pirates have really claimed they want to be Pirate King? Like, it's only villains or people like that are rivals to Luffy, you know?
Like, I think like the very few people have actually said it outright. Like, obviously there's Blackbeard.
Yeah.
And Moria says he wants to be king of the pirates, but like, let's be real. Like,
well, I'll bring that up when Moria says it, but I think that's really important to Moria's character, especially versus Crocodile. But yeah, so far there's only been two people that are ballsy enough to say they want to be Pirate Kings, and they're clearly like, it's Blackbeard, who clearly seems important, and Moria, who's pretty high up in the world. You're right. There's these clashing dreams as we get further and further in the Grand Line, and we'll have to see how they all play out.
Moria declaring himself Pirate King or wanting to be Pirate King, I think is also really important for just like the kind of like background theme of this arc that we'll get into like at the end of this arc.
Volume 50, because I got stuff to add on.
Dude, and y'all know what's so cool? It's so cool that Luffy is at the point that Kuma says the government is concerned that another one of the 7 warlords will be taken out by Straw Hat.
Yes.
Yeah. Luffy's such a badass.
Whenever people recognize Luffy, I feel like a proud father. Even
hell yeah.
Oh my god, my boy is making moves. Like, and
My
they
boy
should
is
be
making
worried because Luffy's a badass. He's
Yeah, dude.
and
What's
like,
also cool is that like they're worried about specifically Luffy doing it. Like it, not just the warlord system is failing, but it's Luffy's going to be one that takes it down.
because I mean, 2 in a row. Like we lost
Yeah.
2 warlords, and they were both Luffy. Like we don't want this pirate to get too big for his britches. Like that's definitely the vibe. Yeah, that's so cool. Like Luffy is really out here making moves, making the world worried, and they should be worried because Moria is crusty. He doesn't train. He doesn't try. So like
He's fat.
He's strong but also washed up. So they're like, Moria, you are liable to lose to this kid. We should really be worried. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
great shit. Mech time.
Yeah.
So this is cool. This is like another quick foreshadowing of Moria's ability to like teleport, kind of, because he's here talking to Kuma and then immediately is in the belly of Oars.
Yeah, that's a really cool reveal. That's like, how the fuck did he do that? Brooke shows up. The whole crew's here. Everyone loves
Crew's
Brooke.
here.
Clutch Boy returns.
Clutch Boy returns. We get some stuff here with Blackbeard and Whitebeard and Thatch, the cook that Blackbeard killed.
It's funny because someone here asked a question about one of the movies, and so Oda put in a piece of like art from the movie, and they have to put all the like copyright and trademark shit.
It's pretty goofy.
Yeah.
That's Oda's character. That's so goofy. Copyright law's a bitch.
I know, fuck that shit.
We're back to a podcast with Luffy. What do you think Luffy podcast about? I bet he has like a foodie blog.
Meat.
Meat.
Yeah, he's like he talks about like which meats pair best with which kind of rum or some shit.
I'd listen to it. I bet the squid guy's funny.
Or I bet he's like, now if you listeners out there haven't tried it, Sanji makes this really good mackerel. You guys should all come over.
Luffy, he's only on your ship. No one can eat his food. I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
Sanji's only on your ship, Luffy. And he's like, we'll just have everybody on our ship.
That's great. You guys are great. All
What
right.
about we don't have a ship?
canon
It's a
now.
restaurant.
That's canon now.
Brooke heals himself with milk. And like that's not how that works, but hey.
Dude, I thought that was so funny. He's like, I
feel broken bones.
But that's just how it is.
Yo, we get these combo attacks going where, and it's cool because like they're all on the same page, where Frankie's gearing up his firearm and Usopp's like, do it, and then he shoots his fire straight up, and then he shoots the like Firebird star.
And it's like an extra big one, which is so badass.
But guys, that is fucking nothing compared to the Jenga cannon.
shot. Ooh.
Zoro cuts a tower into slices so Sanji can kick it at Oars.
This is so fun.
Yeah.
This is so
That is-
perfect.
The coolest shit. This is probably the coolest combo attack I've seen in One Piece.
I want to bring up that remember when Frankie and Usopp like were bitter enemies and Frankie beat the shit out of Usopp and the Straw Hats hated Frankie, and here they are on the same page doing fire combos, doing Chrono Trigger dual techs, and
This is
I
some
just
Chrono
love
Trigger
it.
ass shit.
This is some Chrono Trigger, baby.
That's some Chrono Trigger shit.
Oh man, Robin's over here for support, making sure to like catch everyone with their arms.
Oh man, it's so good.
Oh,
These
this-
are such good attacks.
This one,
this
okay, this one's ridiculous. Shooting Frankie, but like the mobility of Oars is so well defined in this panel because
Oh yeah,
Frankie's moving at him at a fast speed, but Oars is already like horizontal to the ground, which really sells the agility at which this giant is moving. And
yeah. Like after they see that, Zoro's like, shit. I keep forgetting he's Luffy.
yeah, Oars' agility really is why he's so dangerous. Like someone that big shouldn't be moving around. Like Luffy's such a nimble fighter, and Oars is massive while having the same nimbleness. It's actually broken.
Oda does such a good job here because Oars fights like Luffy, even when he's not doing the gum moves. Like this, like sweeping kick is something Luffy would do right.
Yeah, Luffy moves like he's always flipping around and like doing acrobatics in his moves and
Yeah, Oars fights like Luffy, and it's so cool.
Nami shows up. Everyone is here.
Oh yeah.
But okay,
And y'all,
this
is so fucking terrifying. Nami's far away, and we see him charge up a Gum Gum, and they're like, "Oh, like we're good. Like we know he can't stretch. He just says Gum Gum." And then he actually does it, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
This is that building tension. Like, okay,
yeah, this is when the fight gets real because like this, I was like, it wasn't bad enough.
We're on layer 3 of tension building, but now Oars can fucking stretch. Like, this is ridiculous.
And at the end of this chapter, people find Luffy and like, we're gonna give you tremendous power. And I was like, all right, time for your Chungo.
You knew. You
Bradley,
already knew.
I don't know if this is brought up, but these two guys are the chipmunks.
Oh shit, you're super right. Good call.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Risky Brothers. That's right.
That's really cool.
That is cool.
Nami beat him. I forgot to mention in the Kuma chapter, Kuma offers Moria his help. Notice that he offers it and does it like he wasn't ordered to help Moria. So as much of a government dog as Kuma is, he cares enough to offer help. I think that's just interesting. He's not cutthroat or anything.
Yeah.
Because, like, Moria is just cocky. He's like, nah, I don't need your help.
He's like, I got it.
He's not like Crocodile
either,
who's just arrogant, or Dolph Flamingo, who's just
crazy from what we've seen.
Yeah.
Here's Rengo, too. But
dude, I really like this chapter cover art. It's just fun.
Yeah.
I like that outfit on Sanji.
Sanji's great. Lola shows up. So, if those are the chipmunks, do you know who Lola is, then?
She's the guy who... Oh, she's the fucking chick who wants to marry Absalom.
She's the warthog.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't catch that, but it makes perfect sense.
But also, she's proposed to 4,443 people, so, like, her wanting to marry Absalom is very in character, so she's betraying that trait. It's neat.
Man. That's so good.
And, like, they're not, like, being explicit, especially about the Risky Brothers, but it's just so cool how you can draw that parallel, you know?
Yeah.
So they start feeding Luffy shadows, which is a mechanic that we didn't know was possible to like put a shadow into someone who is not compatible with that shadow, or like who is not the person for that shadow. But we can see that the same way that the zombies gain abilities from shadows, the shadows themselves will work on humans. So we get Swordsman Luffy.
And like just putting one shadow into Luffy made him like a master swordsman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my god, they put 100 shadows into him?
This is absurd.
Like, it's so cool because this is a concept that you have only known exists for like 3 pages. This concept was just introduced, and yet when they say he withstood 100 shadows, you're like,
oh my god.
Fuck. It's real.
Yeah, and it's just really cool. The Shadow Fruit is top 5 for me because it has so much usability. If the Shadow Fruit was in someone who had more ambition, it would be busted. Like, there's just so much you can do with it.
Oh, yeah.
And we learned later that, like, Moria can take shadows mid-combat because his weapon of choice is giant scissors. So you can just snip your shadow mid-combat and one-hit kill you with the sun. That's so cool.
And then we see him reveal, like, how he's able to emulate Luffy's devil fruit with his own.
Yeah, it's
like basically like he can basically use his fruit to give people Luffy's fruit.
Yeah, it's so cool. Doppelman. So the drawback is that Doppelman has to be in the shadow you're doing it to. But aside from that, he has full control over that shadow, which in One Piece world means the body will obey. And I mean, shadows are such a non-concept anyways that sure, this works.
That's crazy.
You get ball lore, stuff that like Luffy wouldn't even do.
And then they do this other cool-ass combo move where they launch, spin, and electrify Brook.
That's like
into shoulder.
This 4-person attack to tear through Org's shoulder, which Chopper diagnosed as like a weak point because he saw the frostbite. There's so much going on, dude.
So cool.
But the Straw Hats are still getting hits, like still getting hit while this is happening. But okay, Robin is like, I'm gonna just strangle your ass, and I love how she has to use layered arms to be able to cover the
Yeah, she
surface
makes
area.
arms out of arms.
She's leveling up, boy.
He's leveling up. And yeah, whenever she did that, I was like, oh yeah, Robin can do that.
She should more often.
Mm-hmm.
She could just.
Robin should fight all the time.
And then she totally breaks that fucker's neck.
She just.
Or tries
goes
to.
for it. That what,
Yeah,
what I
like-
like is the attempt. You know, like she doesn't do it, but she fucking goes for it.
Well, she was going to do it, but they didn't realize the swapping technique.
Well,
at
no,
the time.
that's exactly it. Like she was going
Or
to.
that's
end
how
that
they
fight.
reveal the swapping technique. Like she does it, and they're like, "What the? He's behind me."
Yeah.
And that's why
I like how.
Go on.
I don't know.
There's
I saw the snap panel, and I was like, "Oh my god, she actually did it."
yeah.
Homegirl nuts.
I was in that snap panel. You can see the transition because if
Yeah.
you look, the head is turned shadow formed,
Yeah.
and then you can see on the other side where Moria is in the same like amount like transferred over.
I love how as Sanji and Robin are deflecting like the shadow bats, they can splat on the ground and attack from different angles. Like this is Moria has such insane control of this devil fruit. It's actually like one of the highest control to power ratios we've seen in One Piece. Even Crocodile didn't seem to have quite this much mastery over his own power.
Like if someone with the will of Luffy had this fucking devil fruit.
Dick. But it's a little too
Goddamn.
evil for
Yeah.
a tag.
Boy like that, but you know.
Yeah, so Moria pulls out his giant ass scissors and just one shots Robin. It's just so threatening, and then he utilizes the teleporting more. Oars is out here smashing people. Sanji's able to deflect the kicks, which is
He's able to deflect it because he was protecting Nami.
Oh, it's Robin, but yes,
Or Robin, yeah, whatever.
even better.
They're all the same.
Oars can't feel pain, which Chopper diagnoses as a weakness at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I love how he could squeeze in through his arm and then just hit him with his this Chopper Sanji combo, just decimating his arm.
Yeah.
Whenever Sanji kicks his crewmates into people, that's the hypest. That's when I'm real into it. They get Gatling, and just like that, 3 of the Straw Hats are gone.
And man, seeing this next chapter called Luffy versus Luffy, I'm like, the pacing of Thriller Bark is fantastic because
It just goes. It's like
we just go into it, dude.
yeah.
I think the weakest part of Thriller Bark is maybe the zombie hijinks went a little too long. But once you like exactly where we started, from that point on, it's just perfect pacing.
Oh yeah.
And even then, I don't think it goes on like even that long. It's like maybe one volume before we get to like one that's like really like it's got combat and we're introducing mechanics and we're really getting the ball.
It's just a little bit too much hijinks, but like not enough to like bring it down. You know, like it's very. This arc is actually disliked by a lot of people, Bradley. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Those people probably also hate the Navy back fight.
Everyone hates the day. It's just us, dude. It's just us.
Yeah.
That's so crazy to me. It was so good.
Even
Dude, Raven attack though.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. And he leaves the crow marks or the Raven marks, the feet.
And, man, Zoro has really stood out in Thriller Bark, not just with his Ryuma fight, but also here against Oars. Like, in moments when everyone else gets terrified and is like, Zoro, we need to just let Luffy take out Moria. He's like, no. He's like, I'm going to fight this fucker.
Yeah. And he's really going for it. Even when he's about to get kneed, he doesn't give up. He's trying to deflect it. Like, oh, man. Okay, when they make him eat the salt, this is... Okay, we're on layer 6 now. They use their trump card, which is eating the salt, but Doppelman from inside pulls the salt out. Like, what a good raising of tension. I love this fight. And then Usopp just gets fucking stamped.
Jesus.
What do you think you're stepping on?
Dude, Usopp's the fucking tank, dude. He's able to not die here.
Absolutely. Ever since he took that bat to the head, like, he just doesn't...
Yeah, ever since he took that bat to the head, I was like, okay, he's literally unkillable.
Usopp's actually a Super Saiyan or a Saiyan. Every time he goes down, he gets 2 times stronger. But he started at like negative 70, so...
His defense is low, but his HP is fucking nuts. He's like Blissey.
Yeah.
Usopp is Blissey.
And now we see Gear Chungo Luffy.
Actually known as Nightmare Luffy.
Yeah, Nightmare Luffy is what noobs might call it.
I am a noob.
People who don't know anything about One Piece.
Dude,
True
this guy stops Orr's rifle attack with one hand easily.
Yes. And then he knocks Oars through the air.
Just
through the air.
He slaps this boy through Thriller Bark. This is absurd.
Guys, like it took the rest of the Straw Hats earlier to make Oars slip and fall on the ground. Luffy knocks him across Thriller Bark.
In my opinion, Nightmare Luffy is the biggest feat of strength in all of One Piece. And,
I can see it.
And that's fair because, like, this is absurd. Nothing in One Piece should be at this level, to be honest. That is crazy. We're at Dragon Ball right now. Like, we need to scale back, and it's cool because it's temporary. So I think that's fine.
That's That's DBZ shit right there.
Oh my goodness. Frankie.
The Warrior of Hope.
The fight continues. Luffy is just absolutely decimating Oars.
He's grabbing Oars by the hair and slamming him on the ground multiple times in one panel.
Yeah. Spinning him like it's nothing. And the Risky Brothers and Lola and crew are like, fuck yeah, do it! Like, they haven't had this much hope in so long. It's very nice for characters we just met.
And is this the first time since Alabasta we've seen Gum Gum Storm?
Yes, and that is what makes it so significant to me. Luffy is pulling out, like, his top 3 finisher on Oars as Nightmare Luffy.
God, can you, like, even normal Luffy, Gum Gum Storm would take out most anybody, but as a Nightmare Luffy who just knocked him across the island?
I lied, actually.
The last time he used this, the last time he used this, I think, was actually against Aokiji.
Yeah, Joe's
yeah.
Oh, that's right, because Aokiji, he used his entire book of tricks, man.
That's a double lie, actually, because I believe he uses it in Water 7 during the Muso segment, just to clear out, like, 1,000 dudes like it's nothing. But yeah.
But when he pulls out Gum Gum Storm, you know it's real.
It's real, and it is real. This isn't like Aokiji where he did nothing. He just beat Oars and Moria, except it's not that simple.
Like, fucking... Okay, so hold on. There's the page where he hits with the storm, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the page where he hits with the storm. Then you turn the page, and the Gum Gum Storm is still in motion, and you like see Oars' skin rippling.
Yeah.
All over his body from the impacts.
The anime does this attack such an injustice. It's one of like the most down. Like this should be the biggest budget attack.
God,
the lead up to here is amazing too because you have Luffy pulling out the sword, so he's slashing like this is Luffy wielding a sword, which is already wild. But the punch on Moria's face is really nice because it's the first time Moria's taken damage. And then like once the storm hits, it's just like endless damage to both parties.
And what's really terrifying here is you see all the shadows come out, and you get really hopeful, like, oh, did he just like beat Moria that bad? And it's like, no, that was just his timer running out.
Yeah. And
man,
the pirates are excited because they think he's won, but then you flip the page and this is Layer 7. We've reached Layer 7 where Luffy at his potential strongest ever didn't finish it off, which is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, Moria looking rough.
Moria's not doing so good, but thankfully Oars doesn't know what pain is.
Man, like, if Gum Gum Storm from Nightmare Luffy doesn't put down Oars for good, they're fucked, right?
However, the power of teamwork still prevails at the end of this arc, which is so good.
You thought we were done with team attacks?
Absolutely. We have the actual ultimate team attack.
They do the fucking Mortal Kombat X-ray move on him.
So everyone participates in this attack. Robin makes the stairway. Brook is the one carrying Luffy. Nami uses rain to cool down the area, so that way Frankie and Usopp can cool Oars, which is nice because they're reusing the freezer that Oars was stored in. Sanji is able to tie the chain around him. Chopper is able to put this plan together, really, knowing his anatomy. Zoro uses 3,000 worlds, which is the first time Zoro's done that since Mihawk, I'm pretty sure.
Man.
It's like Zoro's ultimate attack is also coming out. But then, like, oh my god, Luffy's finisher, dude.
The fucking Gum Bazooka, and it breaks his freaking spine. Look
Giant
at that.
bazooka.
That's like the most gruesome thing we've gotten to see in One Piece for me, and I think they only let you do it because it's a zombie.
Yeah, this is easily the most gruesome thing in One Piece, which is like, it's not anything to seinen people, but Jesus Christ. He smashes his face in, which smashes his fang, which completely shatters his entire spine.
And man, what's so cool about that whole combo attack is, by the way, that entire chapter is the combo attack.
Yeah, it starts pretty much at like page 4 or so, and it's just going.
Man, and like, it's so cool because as soon as Oars stands up, as soon as he stands up, the people of the island turn around and see the Straw Hats are gone. And that's just how in tune they are with each other. They didn't even have to discuss this plan. As soon as Oars stood up, they knew what they had to do.
Yeah, and Luffy says, I just gotta deal one more blow, and the crew believes in that.
Yeah, they're like, all right, fuck it, let's go.
And Brooke is there. Anything I can do. Like,
Yeah.
come on. It's just like when Frankie was, like, obviously, you know, dealing with the Straw Hats in a really nice way. You're like, okay, I see where this is going.
Y'all, if you thought the action couldn't get bigger...
Are you ready for layer 8?
Or you were done using tricks. Like,
Yeah.
I thought... Dude, like, I thought that was, like, the climax of the arc, and then you see this chapter called Shadows Asgard, and I'm like, that sounds like it's probably a move name.
Why do I hear boss music?
Yeah. Like, we had Shadows Revolution,
Yeah.
which was, like, him being able to turn Oars into Luffy, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fucking Shadows Asgard, what is this?
The worst part is the Straw Hats think they won for real this time. But,
Oh, dude.
Moria is tanky. He pops out of there. And this is where Moria really shines as a character, is in these last few chapters here. Who do you think you're dealing with? You can't escape, or you can't scare a real pirate with the threat of death. So, like, Moria has confidence in himself.
Yeah.
And I think that's really interesting. But then most importantly, with your strength, you'll just die anyways if you continue on your voyage. You're not fit for the new world. It seems that you have a couple of good underlings, but you'll lose all of them. Do you know why? And it's this... Okay, I can finally talk about now. My hot take with Thriller Bark is that I realized that Moria is actually the best pre-time skip villain. Just throwing it out there for realsies. He might look the goofiest, but what he represents in One Piece, how he interacts with his crew, and his mentality makes him actually maybe my favorite out of the entire bunch. And there's some good ones, because I really love Eneru and Crocodile. This really changes my tier list, Joe, having reread this.
Yeah.
But, what I love about Moria is... So, we talked about how Crocodile... We talked about how One Piece's power system is a ladder, and the further you can get, the stronger you are. Crocodile stopped pretty early on in the Grand Line, all things considered, and he settled for just...
Alabasta.
I'm going to take over Alabasta, and that's where I'm going to start everything. Moria's a lot deeper in, but just like Crocodile, you can tell that he has been beaten by the world. But unlike Crocodile, he didn't fully give up. He doesn't have the full ambition to keep going, but he has a scheme that's going to get him back into the game.
I mean, look at that face of him. You'll lose all of them. Like that's not like it's a face of like
I lost like, all of them.
Dude, there is pain in those eyes.
He's so psychotic and he's so broken that to him that's the only truth in the world left to him.
And
right?
Yeah.
It's so good.
To him, it's like it's inevitable that in this quest you're gonna lose your crewmates, and so that's why he went so hard down this path.
So we talked about earlier, and it was mentioned that Kaido, who I believe Kaido's been revealed, like who he is in the world. No,
he hasn't.
We've heard the name.
Yeah,
I think. So I think we heard that either Shanks or Whitebeard fought Kaido at some point.
Yeah, something like that. So Kaido seems to be very strong. Kaido is the one who killed Moria's crew. And from
Right,
that day, and that must have been in the New World, because what Moria is saying is, I went to in a roundabout way, he's saying, I went to the New World, my entire crew was decimated, and I was the only one left, but I didn't give up. I'm going to bounce back, but I'm going to bounce back with my army of zombies where I could detach myself from them. But what's great is what I brought up earlier, where Moria's a hypocrite. He couldn't help but cultivate a fairly healthy crew. That's crazy. Yeah. Despite what he's saying, he still cares for people. So there's this disconnect with Moria where he's trying to be as cold as he can be to the concept of crew, but he's not succeeding. Just so interesting.
Yeah, it's like that was the first thing we talked about in these past 2 volumes is how close everyone on Thriller Bark seems to be, and how much of a culture there is in this crew.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like its own island, like, partially because it is, but, like, it has its own culture and it has, like, its own quirks, and, like, people live here.
Yeah.
And it's...
Like, Absalom's the zombie general, and he knows he likes to do his dumb Thriller dance with the zombie generals, and Perona's the creepy girl, and we know how she treats Kumasi, and we know how Sindri treats Hogback. Like, they all know each other, they all know where they're placed. It's very interesting, man.
It's like a small village. It's a part of the bark is the idea of, like, you can't help but form relationships with people.
Yeah.
But it's how you outlook how you, like, what's your outlook on those relationships, because it's whether you want to or not, it does happen.
This is highlighting the theme of grief that Joe was bringing up earlier. I still think we should wait till volume 50 to really go back to grief.
I agree, because
just other stuff, but whenever we talk about grief, I want us to remember that in conclusion, Moria is a cautionary tale of how cutthroat the New World is and how cutthroat the life of a pirate is. And we do have to think, like, is Moria right? Is Luffy going to be threatened the further he goes in? Because Aokiji showed up and just bodied Luffy's crew, and for the first time, Luffy seemed to show fear because he had to he said he developed the gears because he can't stand the idea of running into another person like Aokiji who can just easily defeat his crew, and he doesn't want to lose anybody, which also feeds into the Davy Back fight. Oh my god.
It shows that, Luffy does have a certain degree of blind faith in his friends, but there's still a part of him where he's like, okay, we're not invincible. He's still terrified of losing them.
He's not an idiot. He believes in himself so much, but he's not an idiot to what's going on around him. He knows he needs to get stronger, and he knows he needs to challenge tough opponents, even if it's dangerous, because he has to believe in himself.
So, was it this Kaido guy who wiped out Moria's crew?
Yes.
They mentioned that, they used to be rivals.
2 volumes ago.
Yeah, they used to be rivals, and Kaido wiped out the original crew that Moria had, whoever they were.
Damn. Did they talk about that earlier?
Yeah, that was the last talk.
I'll try to bring up the panels later.
Yeah, we skipped over it because it delves into something more I want to talk about later, but we need a little bit more information. But keep that in mind that Gyakko Moria's whole backstory and his whole motivation is that his crew died trying to chase after his dreams.
Yeah.
So, the introduction to this attack, Shadows Asgard.
Right, let's move on.
Is so cool. First of all, whenever he says Shadows Asgard, we get an overview of the entire island to show,
the range.
He says all the shadows of Thriller Bark. He means all the shadows.
All of them.
Which adds up to 1,000.
I was talking about this when we were being introduced to the idea that you could put shadows in people. I was like, wow, we've only known that this is a concept for 3 pages, and yet whenever they say Luffy can handle 100 shadows, I'm like, that's so impressive. And we see Luffy with 100 shadows totally body Oars, knock him across the island, so you understand how big of a deal this is. And then Moria absorbs 1,000 shadows.
Good lord.
Oh my god.
I love how this is also him forsaking everything he's built up for this final attack. Because
he just reaped his entire kingdom.
Like he
killed his crew again.
He killed his crew, and sure, he can put the shadows back. But if he loses here, he loses everything he's worked for. Everything. And
it's like it's so thematically appropriate because this is him getting his just desserts for his attitude about his crew.
Yeah.
He views them all as expendable, and it's like he just spent however many years of his life, however many decades building up this crew that he views as expendable, and it's like, yeah, they mean nothing to you. What are you gonna do after they're all wiped out?
Yeah,
you're gonna have nothing.
Like
you're powerful because of them.
Yeah, you're powerful because of them is such a good way to put it, because literally right now he is powerful because of them, but at the cost of them. Which,
man,
tough lesson for Moria to learn. But notice how the crew is not nervous here. Like Usopp and Nami are, but Nami's been more nervous about things. They're more surprised at the raw strength that's about to come out. But
dude, he has cross in his arm. He didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, Zoro and Luffy are just like whatever. But the reason is because I think they've realized that Moria just lost. There's this concept of like you can keep the shadows for as long as your conscience can hold out, and that might apply to this Shadow Lord, and he might have just. I think they see this as the desperate move that it actually is.
Yeah, like this is him flailing. Like this is desperation.
In the worst way possible. Layer 9 of the tension building is Dawn is coming. So now they also have the time limit on this fight.
God, it's so good. Everybody buy Naruto.
Oh, we done? Yeah, that's the volume.
Yeah, that's it.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What a volume.
Left us off in a... And, you know, we were talking, like, a complaint Bradley in particular had about the Creek fight is that it just kept going after too many finishers. But here, I think they're using the fact that these guys keep taking all these finishers and getting up to its strength.
Yeah, I think also it's like it's one person. I think that helps too.
Yeah, I think a big difference between this and like the Pearl fight is the Pearl fight. We did a bunch of finisher, like we did, or was it the Pearl fight or the fucking It was the Pearl fight, right? Where he just keeps finish over and over.
Yeah, Pearl keeps on getting back up.
I thought Bradley was saying that about Krieg back in the day.
Yeah, no. It's Don Krieg. Yeah. Because here's the thing, like, Don Krieg gets knocked down, and he gets back up, and then he gets knocked down, and then he gets back up. And, like, the thing is, every time he got knocked down and back up, it was kind of the same thing over and over. But this, every time Moria gets back up, the stakes are multiplied by like 100.
Yeah, I think the escalation, and knowing that Dawn and Kuma are somewhere like are in this equation, just ramps up that tension so much more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That wraps up this volume, guys.
Everybody play
Everyone do it. Thank you for joining us, and catch us in volume 50.
Man.